Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the Level Unlock Quick Save. I am your host, James Scalziti. You can find me everywhere at Jimmy Noodles Gaming or Jimmy Noodles GG, depending on where you're looking. And I'm here to bring you this week's video game news. Well, we also have a movie news, so go figure with that. First thing on the docket, MLB The Show 21, one of the hot new games coming out this month. Later this month, I think, the 20th? Yeah, 420, the day that I get my second COVID shot, and all that wonderful stuff. And Pokemon Snap also comes out that day. That's pretty cool. Well, as we know, MLB The Show 21 will finally be making it to Xbox platforms, the Xbox One and Series X. Well, to sweeten the deal even more, it is going to be on Game Pass day one. So this was in a joint announcement between MLB, MLB and Xbox. So that's pretty cool. It's a great way to at least bring the people back into playing a baseball sim on the system, because that was just never really available since 2013, 14, one of the two, whenever that left, whenever 2K stopped making the series. I do apologize if I take breaks or anything like that. It is really fucking hot, and I had to turn off my fan to record this, so apologies for that, for me wiping the sweat from my brow. Uncharted movie, the Uncharted movie has been delayed for what seems like the 800th time. This isn't really news. This is from Games Radar. Pretty much it's been delayed a week. Instead of it coming out February 11th of next year, it's coming out February 18th. Moving on. Final Fantasy XIV has a new expansion coming out that a lot of people are excited for. One thing also that's coming out around the same time, well, actually, no, I think it launches on the same day, is the PlayStation 5 version of Final Fantasy XIV. Well, on April 13th, which is coming up, that's next week, right? Yeah, that's in a few days of the time that I'm recording Final Fantasy 13, or not Final Fantasy 13, Final Fantasy 14, the open beta, PS5 beta, will be available for all players. I think you just have to go to Square's website and register. Another delay in the past 2 years of basically delays being the name of the game. Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, the hot new Lego game from Traveler's Tales. There we go. Traveler's Tales. That is combining the story of all 9 Star Wars games into one, is not coming out in spring 2021. We don't know when or if it's coming out. So it's not going to be released this spring. Here is a quote from TT Games. All of us here at TT Games are working hard to that's missing a word. They missed a word here at a GameSpot. All of us here at TT Games are working hard to, I'm assuming, make Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga the biggest and best Lego game, but we're going to need more time doing it, the developer said. The studio also thanks fans for continued patience. The game was originally announced and shown off back at E3 2019. Yeah, it's... Let's see here. Yeah, it says that it's been delayed. Delayed indefinitely. So again, we don't know when or if it's ever going to come out. PlayStation, new month, I should say. New month means new games for PlayStation Plus and Xbox games with gold. Your April games are going to be Oddworld Soulstorm for the PS5, Days Gone for the PS4, and Zombie Army 4 Dead War. That's starting the 6th, which I think when this gets uploaded will be 2 days before. So, interesting thing about Oddworld Soulstorm. So, that game's coming out on both PS4 and PS5. The only game, or not sure, I shouldn't say that. The only version that is free for PlayStation Plus members is the PS5 version. If you do not have a PS5, you are not. If you have a PS4, I should say. If you have a PS4, you will not be able to play that for free. You would have to purchase the game separately, or get a PS5 whenever those become available. Which is kind of lame if you ask me. I mean, just make both of them, man. PlayStation Now. Let's take a look at the games coming to PlayStation Now. Starting April 6th, we have Marvel's The Avengers, the disappointment. The best thing that I can say. The disappointment. That is coming to PlayStation Now. That is available until Monday, July 5th. Borderlands 3 is also coming to PlayStation Now. That's available until September 29th of this year. The Long Dark is also coming to PlayStation Now. That does not have a date for when it's going to end. And then they also have, starting April 7th, you'll get a 7-day free trial. You can get a 7-day free trial to PlayStation Now if you haven't got it before. What's next? We have Games with Gold for April. We have from April 1st to 30th, we have, what is that called? Vikings Wolves of Midgard. From April, that's the Xbox One family. We have Truck Racing coming April 16th through May 15th. And then the 2 Xbox 360 games are going to be from April 1st through 15th. We have Dark Void and Hardcore Uprising will be available from April 16th through the 30th. Not really that great of a lineup. Games coming to Game Pass. Let's take a look. Let's see, we got Outriders. And that's Game Pass. Okay, so we have, hitting in April, MLB The Show will be coming, of course. Zombie Army 4, Rain on Your Parade, Grand Theft Auto 5, NHL 21, and then more. It doesn't say exactly what all games are coming out, but it does say that they have some hard hitters. GTA 5, people still fucking play it. It's a miracle that people still play that game. NHL 21 is going to be coming through Game Pass through EA Access. And then, of course, MLB The Show being a big one. So just a few games there. E3 will be back this year, according to the... what is the company? I forget what company it is that runs E3, but E3 will be back. So, this is from GameIndustry.biz. We have E3 2021 will return this June in digital form and has been backed by Nintendo, Xbox, Capcom, Konami, Ubisoft, Take-Two, Warner Bros., and Koch Media. But there's a few exceptions here. So, the big, or ESA, that's what it's called. The ESA is what runs the E3. The notable absentees on this list. Oh, oh boy, we got some big ones. Probably the biggest one is Sony. I mean, the big three, one of the members of the big three isn't going to be there. And I wonder if, because they didn't do a state of play last year, if I'm not mistaken. I wonder if they're going to do one this year to coincide with E3. But we got Sony, EA, which is another big one, Activision Blizzard, Sega, Bandai Namco, and Square Enix were not announced to be coming to, or will not be backing E3 2021. So, who knows if they're going to have anything around that time? I would assume so. But who knows what we will see if they will end up being a part of the show or not. But I think it was smart for them to go with their own thing. We've seen in this past year. I mean, really, we've seen this past year. E3 isn't really needed much anymore. All these companies can just do it themselves, or you have the powerhouse of Jeff Keighley bring everyone together and show off, smaller things. Then maybe some big world premieres. Anyway, I'm just excited for, we're getting closer and closer to that season where there's going to be a ton of content on the Patreon. So, hey, here's a little shameless plug. If you're not a part of the Patreon, patreon.com/levelunlockpodcast. For, I think, the $5 a month tier, you get access to special videos, our live reactions of different events. So every PlayStation State of Play, Nintendo Direct, and whatever Xbox does, me and probably someone else, usually someone else, do a little live reaction to it. So it's always a fun time. So again, that's $5 tier, but you could do $1. Be greatly helping the show. All that good stuff. Anyway, let's get back to the news. Two last things, both of them, interestingly enough, surround Super Mario Bros. The original Super Mario Bros. That came out in, 1980 something or other? When did Super Mario Bros. Come out? Super Mario Bros. When did that come out? It was 84? 85? When did the original Super Mario Bros. Came out? Come on. 1985. September 13th, 1985. So, we have a new record. This is from Game Informer. Boy, howdy. A sealed Super Mario Bros. Game for the NES. A 9.6 rating. Sells big. This is from, I think, it sold at, wow, what was it? What's that big one? Heritage Auctions. Yes, Heritage Auctions. It sold for $660,000. That is a ridiculous amount of money for a video game. Kelsey Lewin, she's a game historian. I think she helps run Pink Gorilla, if I'm not mistaken. It's a big retro game store in the Seattle area, Portland area, somewhere in Oregon, if I'm not mistaken. But to put into context, the Nintendo PlayStation prototype, the one-of-a-kind, pretty much, that we know of at least, game system that we thought did not exist, sold for $360,000. So for almost double, a little less than double, but let's just say, to add a little extra effect to it, almost double the amount of the Nintendo PlayStation. Super Mario Bros. Sold for. A sealed Super Mario Bros. Absolutely nuts. Absolutely mental. Finally, the last thing I have is another Super Mario Brothers related video, or a related story. For all you guys that know, I am a huge fan of speedrunning. I have also speedran before in my life. I used to speedrun a little racing game called All-Star Fruit Racing. I may have been pretty decent at it. And one of the most well-optimized games to ever be in the speedrun, to ever be like speedrun? I'm just gonna go with speedran. Speedran. I don't know, but it's a part of this speedrun community. The most optimized game is the original Super Mario Bros. It has been perfected for a very long time, to the point where they are counting it by the thousandth of a second, these runs, because of how well optimized it is. And they're at the point where they think they've reached the human cap, where there's no way that anyone other than a machine could beat this time. The time was 4 minutes and 55 seconds, widely regarded as the fastest it will ever be by a human. That is until on April 7th. On April 7th, who was it? Where is it? I'm trying to find who did it. Nifsky? Twitch streamer Nifsky broke the record. He broke the record for Super Mario Bros. He brought it down to 4 minutes, 54 seconds. Or 4 minutes 54.948. That's how close these runs are to each other, that we're counting down to the thousandth of a second. 4 minutes, 54 seconds, and 948,000th of a second. That is absolutely nuts. Nobody thought that the 4 minutes 55 seconds would ever be beaten. To let you know what the tool assistant did, this is what it's called, an RTA run. So someone's sitting in front of the computer or in front of their system and playing the game. That's what this number is. Now, there is the task run, the tool-assisted speed run, where you go frame by frame by frame by frame and play the game to give you the absolute best movement possible. The record time for that, and what people consider is the cap, it will never get faster than this, record for it is 4 minutes 54 seconds, 0.26. So again, we're going down to the tens of hundreds milliseconds in difference. And it is absolutely nuts to see that even though everyone says that it's been it's perfect, the run has been perfected, we're still seeing people whittle it down a little bit. So now the real question is that task run, the 4 minutes, 54.26 seconds, is that achievable by a human? I guess we'll have to wait to find out. Many people say that it's impossible because of the movement strats that you have to do. But hey, people said that there is no way a human can get sub 4 minutes 55 seconds, and here we are. We're talking about it. That, I do believe, is a podcast. Thank you all so much for listening. Again, this is I like these little short guys. They're starting to grow on me. Cuz I kind of thought originally like I got to keep these a little bit, around the same length as the main podcast, but I'm really starting to grow on these shows. The show where it's just news. That's it. One person, no big muss, no big fuss. And I hope you guys do enjoy it too. And I hope you enjoyed listening today. Thank you all so much. If you would like to become a patron, go to patreon.com/levelandlockpodcast or email us levelandlockpodcast@gmail.com with what you think. If you have any questions, concerns, anything like that, email us. Don't be afraid. Same with our DMs on Facebook, facebook.com/levelandlockpodcast. I think we have an Instagram. We might have I think we have an Instagram. Let's say we have an Instagram. Level Unlock Podcast for that. And also check out our Twitter at LVL Unlocked Pod. That's LVL Unlocked Pod. Again, thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next week for the full show. Later, everyone.